what's up everybody, the Fish Tank Guy here, and today I'm going to briefly talk to you about some of the equipment that you might want to have in your newly created sump, and also what will work best based on this design that I've chosen. So as you can see in my first chamber, that's where I'm going to house my protein skimmer. You're going to want to choose this piece of equipment first before you even assemble your sump, because protein skimmers require different levels of water to work most efficiently. This particular model states that roughly 7 inches of water is where it should be operating, and that is why I chose to use a 7-inch baffle that will drive the height of the water in the first chamber. So you can see that here. I left plenty of room to move it side to side if necessary, also to remove it without too much hassle. Now, my middle chamber is going to be a refugium of sorts, but different from my previous sumps because I chose to have my first baffle lifted off of the bottom of the aquarium. As a result, having sand in the refugium is not going to be the greatest option because that sand will more than likely spill into the first chamber and kind of be a little bit messy. However, after having sand in my first sump, I don't really think it's that big of a deal to omit it. So I'm simply going to go with pieces of live rock in this middle refugium, and that will help me enough with biological filtration. And in addition, I might have some macroalgae in there as I did before, and a small light above this middle chamber here in the sump to keep that macroalgae growing properly. Now, last but not least, in my third chamber, you'll see that I will have my return pump. It is a larger return pump because I am going to be pumping the water up quite a ways, but I will have a tube connected here between the pump and my bulkhead to keep this nice and clean. I don't have to go outside of the tank as I did on my previous sump since I drilled this one. And that is where my return pump is going to be located. Now, if I also choose to have an auto top-off system, which I will likely do, that will be installed in the third chamber as well, because that third chamber is where the water level will decrease as evaporation occurs within the entire system. Now, one thing I failed to mention is the heater. The heater will also likely go in the refugium, as it is a larger space. I'll have plenty of, space in there to make sure that I can install my heater either on this glass baffle or on the bottom or along the back wall, and I will be able to efficiently heat the rest of my system with that heater there in that second chamber. So those are just some of the ideas. Some people choose to use other things. Some people have dosing in their sump. Some people have different forms of chemical filtration, which I might do. And if I were to do that, I'll move this out of the way so you can see here. More than likely, what I would do is create some sort of small rack here where the return outlet is, maybe out of egg crate, and on that rack I could place some filter floss, or I could place some ChemiPure or Purigen, or I might just have a filter sock here that the water drains into, and that will be my primary form of mechanical filtration. Now, the other nice thing about this setup is in between these two baffles here, you also have enough space to have some chemicals in there as well. If you'd like to put, like I mentioned, Purigen or ChemiPure, those types of things, you could do that over there also. But the reason that I chose this setup is because water will always be forced into, down, and through this first chamber. So it is a good spot to put any type of chemical filtration, mechanical filtration, things you might want in your sump, and you'll know that your water is being pushed down and through all of that. Whereas if you create a first chamber and you have this first baffle flush to the bottom of the aquarium, there are going to be almost dead spots in that chamber where the water will kind of be idle, maybe especially in this front corner, as it pours in through the return and would simply spill over that first baffle. So that is the reason for lifting that off of the bottom of the aquarium. So once again, I am the Fish Tank Guy. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Hopefully this short video on equipment that you can put in your sump will be useful or helpful for you if you chose to create this sump or a sump custom to your own specific needs. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this all put together and getting it installed into the fish tank tower. But that's going to be for another day and another video. So once again, I'm the Fish Tank Guy. Thank you so much for checking out this video. And until a future Fish Tank Guy video, I will see you guys soon.